Welcome everybody. We've got a few more people joining now. You are about to embark on an incredible journey. This masterclass will take you from not having a clue where to start or what to do when setting up your new business to knowing the steps to take and the strategy behind it. So you can set up your business 2.5 times faster, saving you time, money, and the moments of what have I done or why aren't I having the success I was hoping for. So powerful stuff, guys. So I want to actually get some action down on paper. So if you've got the checklist printed out or if you have a notebook handy, I want you to grab that now. And at the top of it, we're going to put a plan in place because I know that you're 42% more likely to achieve a goal if you've written it down and set some dates around it. So at the top of your checklist or the top of your notebook, I just want you to write the day that I take action. And then next to that, write today's date. A little bit of time to do that. All right. And then from there, I want you to grab your phone calendar out and I want you to scroll through and find 10 weeks from today and see what that date is. And that's the date we're going to launch this business. So I want you to write that down. If you've got the checklist, there's a space where you can write it under launch date. If you don't have the checklist and you're just using a notebook or a piece of paper, just write down launch date and then the date in 10 weeks. Give you a minute to work that out. And how would that make you feel? Like, looking at this date when you've got it written down, how would you feel if by that date you have your own business set up? Like, it really starts to bring all this into reality for you, doesn't it? It's pretty exciting. And if you're really, really keen and you want to, take a picture of that, share it on your stories or, Insta, Facebook, whatever it is, and make yourself accountable. Let the world know that that's what you're going to do and that's what you're going to achieve. It's very powerful to have that accountability side of things. And if you're on Instagram, tag me in at businessbrains.au. I'd love to see what you're doing as well and follow along. So to get the most out of this, guys, you've showed up here today, so I want you to take away a massive amount of value. And to do that, you need to be really present. So make sure you're in a quiet place. If you haven't already turned your phone onto silent or do not disturb or turn it off, whatever works for you, get rid of any of those other things that are open on your screen so you can be here and you can be present and you can take all of this in, because we are going to cover a lot of stuff in this hour. So, you want to make sure you are putting yourself in the best position to be able to do that. So let's get into it. So what will you get out of this? So much. I've tried to pack in so much value into this hour, but I can't give you everything in this hour. So I will talk at the end about how you can work with me further if you want to, and if it's something that is aligned with where you are at. But I don't want you to think this is a pitch fest. You're actually going to get a lot of value out of this. So we're going to walk out of today with you knowing exactly why most businesses underperform so you can avoid these mistakes, the 10-step process to set up your new business, and you'll know how to deliver your service, product, or solution in a way that meets your lifestyle goals and your income needs. And as an extra bonus, I chucked in here a shortened version of one of the exercises that we work through in the Launch Your Biz Now course to help you name your business in 3 simple steps. And the reason I've done this is because I think it's going to make this so much more real for you. So you're not only just going to walk out of today with having the date set we're going to have your business launch, you're actually going to know what it's called. So that's pretty exciting. So who am I? I know a couple of people in here, but for anyone that I don't know, I think, which I never really thought of myself as before, but I think I'm a bit of a serial entrepreneur. I love the business setup process, and I've set up 10 businesses for myself in all different industries, and I love that process of it. And the last business I set up, which was doing pastured eggs from my farm, what I realized was it wasn't the actual doing of the business that I really enjoyed. It was that actual process to set up a business. And I'd realized because I'd done it so much for myself and helping others, there was actually a framework that I was following when I was setting it up. And it didn't matter what business it was in, whether it was pastured eggs, whether it was my past business that I sold when I had my daughter, my financial planning firm, whether it was landscaping that I set up for my husband, whatever sort of business it was, they all followed a clear framework. And I realized that was replicatable. So people could use that and make everyone's life better by sharing that framework. So I'm an award-winning advisor, new business specialist. I helped hundreds of people launch, scale, and then sell their businesses through my financial planning business. And now with this business. I'm the host of the Launch Your Biz Now podcast, which is rated number 9 in entrepreneurship. So if you haven't already jumped on and had a listen to that, I definitely recommend doing so. Heaps of free content and interviews and all sorts of stuff on there. And I'm a mama too. I've got a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old. So life is really busy. Live on a farm in rural Australia, just out of Albury-Wodonga. And I guess all of that now has meant that when I set up this business, I had to do it very purposefully. So I sold my financial planning business when I had my daughter, because then I was still had the business trading my time for money. And I really wanted to be present as a mum, and I wasn't sure how I could do that with working in the business still and the way that I had it set up. So I knew that with this, I had to do it differently. And the way that I do it differently is everything that I do in the business has a purpose. There's a reason I'm doing it. There's a clear outcome. So I'm no longer, working under that hustle mentality, which I'd used to set up those businesses when I was younger without all of these extra distractions. And I have to do it a bit smarter. So that's what I want to share with you today too. So how are you feeling, guys? Just let me know in the chat if any of this sounds familiar to you. Does the process of setting up business make you want to crawl under the bed and hide? Have you been procrastinating starting your new business forever because you just don't know where to start? What are you feeling? How's that looking for you? Is this you, or are you going, nah, I'm in, like I've got this, I'm ready, I'm so ready right now. I've got everything I need, and yeah, you're feeling really positive. Let me know. I'd love to know the thoughts of everybody in the group today. Not fearful, just lacking marketing tools. Yeah, yep, that's awesome. In that case, that's a good place to be. That's awesome. And, for the one, if you're out there and you do have doubts at the moment and you're not sure about what to do or how to do it, or you're feeling any of those things, that's okay. Because I want you to know now is your time. Starting your business with purpose is how you help more people by sharing what only you can share, allowing you to make more money and create a life you love. It's about making a bigger impact in the world. And now is your time. I'm so ready and excited to start my business. Yes. Hell yes, Carly. That's awesome. Very cool. So what are the key takeaways that you're going to get from today? So you're going to walk away knowing what people think it takes to set up a successful business versus what it actually takes, so that you avoid making the mistakes that others make, resulting in making more money without the overwhelm moments. You're going to get a roadmap to have your business thriving within 3 months, so your business dream can become reality faster, easier, and with a whole lot less stress. And you're going to stop trading your time for money by building out your product ecosystem so that you can have the lifestyle you want whilst earning what you need. So heaps in there. I'm so ready to start my business. That is awesome. Got my business ready, got website, need a market, and get clients. Awesome, Teresa. That is so good. All right, let's get into it, guys. But before we do, I just want to keep everyone really present and energized through this. So I'm going to introduce you to something that I got onto a few weeks ago at a conference that I was in and just loved. And at first I felt like a bit of a dick, but once I did it, I was like, oh yeah, I got a lot out of that. So we're going to have shake breaks. So what is that? We're taking our hands out to the side, just taking a moment, just bringing some energy back in, shaking them around, shake them up high, shake them down low, and then shake your body, move around, and then closing your eyes. I want to take one deep breath in and then exhale. All right, now we're ready to go. Feeling invigorated. So what people think it takes to set up a successful business versus what it actually takes. So why don't people take action? And there's 3 main reasons that I hear from people. They don't think they have the money to start. They don't think they have the time to do it, or they don't know where to or what to do or where to start. So they don't do anything at all. So money, the best thing about setting up businesses now is 10, 15 years ago, you would have spent 30 grand setting up all the business basics that you needed. Now with technology and accessibility, all of this stuff has become so much more affordable. So you can start up a lean business, on a shoestring budget, and make sure you get results before you start investing in all these different areas. Time, I've worked out based on the framework I follow that it's about an hour a day that you need over 10 weeks. So 70 hours all up. So if you can invest 70 hours of time, which doesn't seem like much when you're talking about completely changing your life and your future, That's a pretty cool place to be. So I think most of us can do that. And they don't know where to start. That's easy. If we have a framework to follow, it shows you step by step what to do and what to start. So that's what we're going to go through now. But before we do, the 6 mistakes people make when setting up a business. So this is some mistakes that I've seen in my experience and also some mistakes I've made for myself. So I wanted to talk about these because I think it's good to know. So hopefully you don't make the mistakes and you can learn from the lessons that I've learnt. So number one, doing all the things with no real strategy. And I think this is very easy as a business owner because you see all these different businesses doing things. You're like, oh, well, maybe I need to do TikTok. Maybe I need to, go live. Maybe I need to post every day. Maybe I need to, look at my profit and loss every month, but I have no idea what I'm actually looking at. That's what I'm talking about there. So you're doing all of the things, but you don't know what you're doing it for. You don't know what the outcome of doing it is, and there's no real strategy behind it. Mistake number 2, they're not taking action due to self-sabotage. So this is a huge one. This is that mindset piece. It's all of those thoughts that you have coming into your head going, I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I'm not tech savvy. That person there has more experience than me. They know more than me. They've been in business for longer than me. How can I compete with them? Oh, it's not my time. Feeling guilty because you're spending this time setting up this business versus spending time with your family, or any of those limiting beliefs that are holding you back and stopping you from going all in and things, they're powerful. So today we're going to do an exercise to help clear some of them to get you really in a positive mindset for this stuff. Mistake 3, wanting to get experts to help with every stage of the setup process, making it unaffordable. So I mentioned this before. So, in an ideal world, yes, we would love to get all of these things done in our startup. So it's this big, beautiful business when it gets off the ground and it's all there. But the worst thing about that is the more money you spend in the startup, the longer it takes before you're actually, getting some money and actually getting some traction on the ground and getting you closer to this, successful business that we're wanting. So we want to try and do things on the cheap a little bit through the startup and get things up and running until we've tested this business, launched it up, got it happening, and then you can start looking at investing in each of these experts. In saying that, of course, there's different experts that you do need from the start, but if we can give you some tips to, take out some of the pain from this, then that's all good there too. Mistake number 4, cutting out stages in the startup process and then wondering why they aren't getting results. This is huge. So I'm going to walk you through something in a little bit of time called the iceberg effect. So it's what people think makes a good business versus what it actually takes. And when they do only the things that they think, they're not getting the results and they're wondering why. So we'll go through that. Mistake number 5, getting advice from the wrong people. So I get this one. People have the best intentions and people are so generous with their knowledge and things that they know. And it's amazing. We might know other people that have businesses and sharing their experiences of what they've done or giving you advice or whatever that might look like. But the thing I want you to be very careful with is they might give you a snippet of what to do or how to do it. They might, tell you what to do in your marketing, but that doesn't explain how that flows through to the rest of your business. Or they might tell you the what to do, but they won't tell you the how or the why or the strategy behind it. So my advice to you is find one person, and whoever that is, find a framework, have a framework you're following, and do that whole framework. So you've got all of these areas interconnected and working in together. Mistake number 6, they doubt their skill sets and knowledge. So I get this. We've all had those moments of self-doubt. But what I want to say is no one is you. No one does things exactly the way that you do them. No one knows what you know. No one delivers the outcome to your customer exactly the way that you do. And that's what makes you special. That's your superpower. That is awesome. So remember that. Now, just to help on the mindset piece, I wanted to do a little visualization exercise here. And this might not be your typical just masterclass, so bear with me. And if you're not normally a visualization type person, just give me a few minutes, see how it goes, because this stuff is powerful. So I just want you, and I know I can't see you, so I'm not sure if you can do it, but I'm just asking you just to give this gift to yourself to actually be present and do this and join in, because I think you'll get a lot out of it. So now just finding a comfortable position in your seat, just letting your hands go down either side of your body, resting on your lap, and then closing down your eyes. We're going to start with 3 deep breaths in and out. So inhale, then exhale. Inhale, then exhale. Then inhale, and then exhale. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to imagine that you're in a forest. And in front of you in the forest is a big tree. It's a huge tree. It's actually the biggest tree that you've ever seen. The trunk on this tree must be meters wide. You notice at the base of the trunk that there's a door. You walk up to the door and you open it, and you step inside the trunk of the tree. When you step inside, you smell the earthiness of the soil and the coolness on your skin. And you look around this tree and it's dark. But then you start to notice these glowing words coming up in front of you. They're red with an orange glow. And these words are all the limiting beliefs that you've had or you have around setting up a business. These are circling around, floating in the air. So one by one, you decide to hold on to these words. So you grab onto the first word and it reads, "I'm not good enough." And it's glowing in your hand. But as you look at this, you know that this no longer serves you. And you know that you are good enough. So you take away the power of that statement and you let it go. And as you let it go, it turns to ash on the floor. And that's no longer true for you. The next one is, "I'm not smart enough." And you grab onto that self-doubt, you acknowledge it, and you let it go. The next one is, "I don't know enough." Grab onto it, let it go. And with it goes the power of that word. "I'm not tech savvy enough." Grab it, let it go. "I'm not experienced enough." Grab it, let it go. "What if I fail?" Grab it, let it go. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a time. Look around your trunk and see what words are coming up for you. Think in your mind's eye any limiting beliefs that you might have or any doubts that you have about this business process and anything that's stopping you from making this beautiful, big, successful business. Bring them to your mind eye. Bring those words out in front of you, grab onto them and let them go. All right. Now looking around you in your trunk of the tree, all you see is darkness. All of those words are now gone. There's no longer any limiting beliefs or self-doubts that are stopping you from achieving your goal of creating not just a business, but a beautiful, beautiful, big business that gives you exactly what you want out of it. You are ready. As you look in front of you now, another door has appeared. It's a door that you go up to and you open it, and it's going out to the outside world again. You step out the door, step onto the grass of the forest, and then close the door behind you. You notice a notable shift when you close the door. It's like a weight has lifted off your shoulders. The sun is shining brighter. Everything is just glowing and looks so vibrant. And you know, as you walked out that door, you left behind you every single limiting belief that you had around setting up a business, and you are now ready to set up this beautiful business of yours. So keeping that thought in mind when you're ready, just opening up your eyes. Hopefully that was really powerful for you and you got a lot out of that. I love visualizations, and we want to hold on to that power now, and we're going to take that through to the rest of this session. So now we got in the right mindset, What do we do? So this is the business iceberg effect that I was talking about. So it's what people think is involved in setting up a business, which is logo, business name, website, socials, product, those things, those obvious things we see on the surface. And then what's below the water is what it actually takes. So when you're looking at that, just let me know in the chat. Does that look overwhelming? Like, are you looking at it going, oh my God, how am I going to achieve that? And you think I'm going to achieve that all in 10 weeks? Like, oh, Jesus. I get it. There is a lot. But the thing is, once we have a framework to follow, it's actually pretty easy and it's not at all overwhelming. So let's go through that. How does that look? And before we do, another shake break. So just taking the hands out either side, shaking to the side, shake up above, shake down below, move your body, become present, close down the eyes, inhale, exhale. All right, let's get into it, guys. So, did you know the average business doesn't make its first dollar for 6 months from idea stage to launch? That's huge. But what if we could do it 2.5 times faster than that in 10 weeks? What would that time saved mean for you? That's 16 weeks that you can save. Does that mean more money, more freedom? You get to leave a job that you're not feeling inspired by and get out there and take action and do this thing that you want to do that makes impact on the world? Like, what is it? That's huge. So just have a think about that. Imagine if in 10 weeks you've got this business set up. So this is the new business success pyramid. And this is what I've put together based on what I think makes up a successful business. So a successful business isn't made from doing just one thing right. It's a collaboration of areas that need to build on each other. And if done right, you reach the pinnacle of success, the top of the pyramid. So what is this? It's the 10 foundational pillars of business. And like any foundation, so let's look at this as if we're building a house. The 10 foundational pillars of business are your walls. So we need to have them in place, because if they're not in place and they're solid, your house falls over. Not ideal. Then we need your 3 fundamentals for success. So think of these as like your screws. So they're what hold the walls into place. So without them, yes, you might have a wall, but without the screws holding it in, it's still not going to last and it's not going to survive. So it might look like a house on paper with these walls, but it's not all there. Then, of course, the mindset piece that overlays all of that. If you don't have a good mindset when you're doing this, it is challenging and you are going to doubt yourself at times. So we need to work on that and make sure we stay in a positive place there. And then lastly of all is the product. So it's the thing that people think is the most important, but you can have the best product in the world. And if you don't have these other core areas sorted out, you're not going to succeed. So that's why it's the last thing that I have. It's actually the almost the least important thing in a way when it comes to the setup process anyway. So what are those 10 foundational pillars? So we've got idea stage. This is about testing your business idea to make sure it actually works before you go and invest all of this money into it. You've got the basics. What actually makes a business? You know, this is choosing a business name, registering the business. How does that all look? What do you need to do? All that stuff's the basics. Branding. How does your brand actually look? Your logo, your colors, all of those sorts of things. What does that look like? Marketing. How do people find your business? Sales. Once they find your business, how then do they convert to a customer? And then, of course, building from that, how do they return and how do you create these brand champions and business champions from your sales process? Processes. So what processes do you have in the business? You need to have a good understanding of them, because that's how we're going to build you out of the business. So how does the customer come through and go through the marketing process and then the sales funnel? How does that work? And we want to look at ways to automate that. We want to look at ways to make it more efficient. We want to look at ways to, if we can outsource or when to employ staff. And we know from understanding those processes. Money. Money is obviously one of my key areas. And I think it actually underpins every area of the business. So if you don't know your numbers, you don't know how much you can spend on marketing to get these customers in. You don't know how much you can invest into, I don't know, putting on a new product or investing in a new product. You don't know whether you're able to take the income that you want to take or how much income that should be or what to do to get you to getting that income. If you don't understand all of that, then we don't really have a good business to work from. So that's so important and something that we spend a lot of time on. Scaling. We don't want to stay in startup stage forever. It's a hard place to be and it's hard work. So the faster we can get your business from startup stage to lifestyle business, and what I'm talking about with a lifestyle business is a business that you can step out of. It looks after itself, it runs itself, it's not dependent on you working in the business. It's more profitable, gives you the freedom and flexibility. It's the sort of business which is why we all strive to go into business. So we want to try and get to that point fast. We want to have a plan to get there. Partnerships. It's pretty lonely being a business owner, and you've only got a limited reach. So what we want to do is build your profile as a person and a business owner and as a business, and we want to leverage that using partnerships that give you value and give the other partner value, but also give you access to a wider community. So that's another area. Launch. One of the big things people don't do is focusing on the launch of the business. Once you have this business set up, how are we going to get momentum of that? How are we, for that first 30, 60, 90 days, what are we going to do to get the most traction that we possibly can to get this business off the ground and give it the best chance of success? So they're the 10 areas. We'll go through them more later on as well and break them down a bit further. Then we have the 3 fundamentals for success. So this is plan, strategy, action. What, why, do. And when you combine all of them, we have your launch your biz now sweet spot. And that's what we want to get for each of those core foundational pillars. So as an example of this, when we're looking at marketing, it's about how we're going to get people to find your business. But what we want to do is start with the end in mind. So let's say you want to make, and this is just really rough example, but let's say you want to have an income of $100,000 from your business. And then we know, we've worked that back, and we know to make $100,000, we need to have 2,000 people find your business. And then once they work through your funnel and your sales strategy, that will end up giving you the 100,000. Yeah. So this is just an example. This is, of course, stuff that we'd work out, but we need to then find these people. How are we going to do that? What strategy are we going to put in place? What are we going to use to do that? Are we going to use Facebook ads? Are we going to use a podcast? Are we going to use, YouTube or whatever that is? How do we measure that? What results do we get? And how do we adjust it if we're not getting the results? So we have the strategy, which is we know what we're trying to do. The plan is how we're going to actually do that. And action is doing it. And then once we do it, we check and adjust. So that's what the 3 fundamentals for success are about. All right, so let's get into it a bit further. But before we do, another shake break to keep you on your toes and make sure you're really present. So hands out either side, shake them about, hands up above, shake them about, hands down below, shake them about, move your body. Move your body. Wish I was a better singer for that. And then just closing down the eyes, taking one deep breath in, deep breath out. All right. So let's build out your product ecosystem. So at the top of the pyramid, what we talked about was product. And you'll notice here that I've got product written rather than service. And you might be sitting there going, oh no, I'm a service business, Sarah. Well, I want you to completely change that. And we're never going to look at it again as you're a service business, because if you're a service business, you're trading your time for money. And we want to move away from that, because we can never scale that up to a point that, is really profitable and you're getting exactly what you want out of the business. So we're going to turn those services into products or packages. So what does that all mean? All right. So you might have already done this exercise, which is in my new biz toolkit. I've also shared the product matrix in the file section if you want to grab them out if you haven't got a copy. We're not going to go through this full exercise today, but I just wanted to put it in here so you can do it in your own time and keep working through this after the session. But what this is about building your business around you rather than you working in the business and the business running you. So what we want to know first of all is, what is the outcome that you deliver to your customer? So what businesses did we have here? Wedding planning and hire. All right. So Carly, let's use you as an example for this. So wedding planning business. Very cool, by the way. Could have used that. People don't employ you because they want wedding planning done. That's just what you do. The outcome they want from that is to have a stress-free experience planning their wedding so they can have a beautiful day that they enjoy with their friends and family, and, just remember these moments for a lifetime, and just everything works seamlessly and it takes the stress and the overwhelm out of the process. That's the outcome that they're after, yeah? So then when we go through that, we go, all right, well, if that's the outcome, let's think about what's important to you for the business. You go, all right, how many hours do you want to work? Maybe you go, I want to work 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours, whatever that might be. What level of flexibility do you need with those hours? So you might go, all right, well, I want to work, I've got a few kids, so I want to work 9 to 3 so I can do the school drop offs. Or I want to work, take 3 months off a year because I want to go traveling 3 months a year. So that's what level of flexibility. Or I want every Friday off. Whatever it is, write that down. What income do you want to earn? What do you need that's going to make you happy and give you the lifestyle that you want? And what do you need to earn for your business? What's that number for you? Where do you want to work from? For me, I never want to work in an office ever again. Like, I love working from home. It just gives me so much freedom, flexibility. So I will never do that. So for me, it's home. I've got other friends that are mums who their time to escape is going into the office because it's when they don't have the kids and they can feel like themselves again. So they want to work in the office. Or, maybe you're a tradie or whatever it might be, and you love going to a different site each day and different house. So every day your work day looks different. All right, whatever works for you, you write them down. And then you'd go through and you'd complete this exercise. But what I want you to start thinking about is there's so many different ways that you can deliver the outcome that we were talking about earlier to your customer. So you can do it one-on-one if you're a service-based business. You are doing consultations or whatever it might be. You can do it in group settings. So you can get 10 people together and, workshop sort of style. When I think of group sessions, the thing I sort of think of is like puppy preschool, where you're doing those sorts of sessions. You can do it in a program. So you can have a program that's set up that you send people and they purchase, and it walks them through the steps and it's all done. You could do a subscription. Maybe they're getting a subscription of product or services or something every month. So normally this is something that's pre-prepared, so you're not actually doing anything for it. It's just stuff that's sent out every month or quarter or whatever it might be. Could do a course, something like what I offer, like the Launch Your Biz Now course. People come through and they go through that transformation of setting up the business. Could do a masterclass like today on whatever chosen field or whatever outcome, and you could spend an hour or two either doing it for free or charging or whatever works for you, sharing some of that knowledge. You could do a membership. So membership, I think, is like the program, but it also has a community aspect behind it. So it's a little bit more hands-on. They're just a few different ideas that you might think about for giving the outcome that you give to your clients. So how does that actually look? So this is a case study that I've put together, and this is for a landscaper. So the problem this landscaper had was they were trading their time for money, and they were spending so much time quoting. So they were working, doing the landscaping during the week, and they were spending maybe a day a week doing quoting and spending after work time quoting and all this sort of stuff. So their work-life balance was just hell, and they weren't getting the results from their business. They were burnt out. They weren't enjoying it, and, just weren't loving life. So what we did, we put together a garden design guide, because one of the things they found when they were going out to quote is people either, one, didn't know what they want, or they, two, had no idea how much it would cost and had unrealistic expectations about that, or a bit of a disjointed. So, and anyone that doesn't know, landscaper is different to a landscape designer. So you have two people. So, you normally need to know what you want to have by the time the landscaper comes out. So yeah, we had a garden design guide, and this is just a PDF, and it walks through how to design, and it doesn't have to be the most beautiful space, but how to come up with a rough landscape design. And then once you've got that rough landscape design, we send them to Pinterest, and they put together a Pinterest board which shows the style of garden that they're thinking. So when the landscaper gets there, he can go, oh yeah, okay, I see the design, I see the style, I can bring that in now. It's a lot more than getting there and going, I don't know, what do you reckon we should do with this space? And the landscaper's sitting there going, I don't know, what do you want to do? So, and then the other thing we put into there, which was powerful, and some people are a bit scared of doing this, is we put in prices. So we packaged up their services. So rather than charging per hour, we packaged it up into square meter rates for them. So it'd be square meter rate for retaining wall, square meter rate for concreting, square meter rate for paving, or whatever that might be. So we had those rates in there, so people could really easily start getting an idea for themselves of how much this landscaping was going to cost, and see if they were qualified enough to do it, like qualified as if they're self-qualifying themselves for the service. So what this meant for the landscaper is they didn't actually go out and do quotes for people until they completed that garden design guide. So when they were actually going out and doing the quotes, people already knew what they wanted. They had a rough idea of what it was going to cost, and the landscaper was there just doing the final sort of stuff. They also now knew, trusted the brand, because they deliver this content and worked through this exercise. So their conversion rates from doing their quotes went up exponentially. They pretty much were converting every quote that they went to. So that's huge. Well, what that also meant is the landscaper now isn't spending his weekends or after work quoting, and he can do all of that a lot more efficiently, giving him that work-life balance. The other thing that shifted is instead of charging per hour, they package together their services. And the win about this is it's better for the client, better for them, because the client knew what outcome they were getting. They were getting a retaining wall that was this square meters big or whatever it was. And the landscaper had a set rate they were charging. So if the landscaper did it faster, they might have had problems before where the client might go, all right, well, you quoted 12 hours, you did it in 10 hours, so I'm only paying 10 hours. Whereas now the landscaper, because they're doing it more efficiently, because they're experienced and all that sort of stuff, they're getting the benefit of that. So they're making more money. So that's one thing. Then they also added on a subscription service. So they knew that they were giving this offering, and then they'd go back to jobs and people didn't know how to maintain their plants or what to do, when to trim, all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't so much a lawn service. It was more plants and just, sealing the pavers and all those sorts of things. So they had a monthly or seasonal option. So now they've built in recurring revenue to their business. So they've put their per customer price up exponentially. So it's completely changed the business, and the growth that they've had is fantastic. So that's one example from going from charging per hour to building out your product ecosystem. Next example is a physiotherapist. So this physio specializes in runners. What they found, and they were doing just the usual one-on-one sessions, is they were having all of their time caught up in doing one-on-one sessions where people maybe weren't getting the outcome they needed because they probably didn't need one-on-one sessions, or they weren't getting the value out of it because they just had a little injury that might have needed a bit of rest and need to be shown a few exercises or whatever that might be. So what they did was put together a low ticket item, which was a pre-recorded video series, which had, covered off common injuries for runners and common treatments for those injuries. So people could come in for a consultation, and if they didn't need the full physio package, they could buy this, and then they've got everything they need to fix their problem. They're getting a lot more value out of that. They're still getting the outcome, but they're getting a lot more value, and it's freeing up that physio's time to spend doing the things that they really want to do, where they're giving people that transformation from their one-on-one work. They also put together a monthly runner group. So this made them a key person of influence in the industry because they organized this group where all these runners are getting together. They're building up their leads from all this community. They're creating business ambassadors, and people now looking at them as that key person going, oh yeah, that's the person you go to when you're doing a running. They put together an online 12-week coaching package, which walked you through how to prepare and train for a marathon. It included online support, coaching, and running analysis. And then they also still had their one-on-one physio package or physio services. But now, instead of doing it the hourly session or in the one-off sessions where you just pay as you come, they've packaged that up. So they know that they either have usually strain injuries or bone stress injuries. So they had two packages now that they've set for that. People pay upfront for it, so they get that money into the business faster, which helps with the cash flow. But it also guarantees that person's going to come back and finish that treatment plan. So guarantees, they've got a whole lot more likelihood of getting that transformation and that positive outcome, so they do become champions of the brands. So that's a few examples there. I could go through these all day. But after doing that exercise, let me know in the chat, has that changed your product ecosystem? Are you thinking anything differently now? Is that making, is there any light bulb moments that you've had from that, or how is that looking? I would love to know. Hopefully that's just got the brain ticking over. Now, do you want to know the number one reason 80% of people surveyed said they put off starting their business? It might surprise you. It's because they couldn't come up with their business name. So it was a mind block. And once they couldn't do that, they just couldn't move past it. So they just kept getting stuck. So I wanted to show you today that condensed exercise that I have in the Launch Your Biz Now course to help you choose your business name. I have had some training which relates to what you have been saying today with ecosystems. Awesome. Yes, help to think more in detail about it. I can see there's another pile of you guys on there not wanting to chat. I would love if you shared what you're up to as well. Got business names there. Oh, awesome, Therese. All right, cool. You're one step ahead. So I'm going to go through this exercise quickly, but you can take it offline and do it a lot deeper. And maybe if you've got the business name already, this might make you think about it a little bit more. Maybe it's perfect, and that's also awesome. So step one, get another clear piece of paper in your notebook or whatever, and I want you to write a list of keywords that could be used in your name. So as an example for this, I'm using a cleaner. So for a cleaning business, they might have clean, shine, cleaner, made, sparkling, anything like that. So just going to take 30 seconds now and just write down on your piece of paper any of these keywords that are coming up to you related to your industry or your outcome. All right, you've got a few down. So ideally, I would like you to have 10 down. And then as we build down onto the next stage, you'd get another 10 for each keyword and you'd have 100 business ideas to choose from. Today, we'll just work with what we've got so we can keep moving through. So step 2, brainstorm 10 name ideas for each of your keywords. So as an example for clean, which is from my cleaner example, we could have clean pro, clean wizard, clean machine, your best clean, clean and shine, clean and sparkle, and the list goes on. And you don't want to overthink this. You just want to get it out there and just write down whatever comes to your mind. So just take 30 seconds there and do that. I love those keywords, Therese. They're great. I love growth as well. Like, it's such a powerful word. All right. So now you've got a few written down. Again, don't overthink it. Now, step 3, just looking at that list, what you want to do next is just circle the names that you like and that just resonate to you. And you go, oh, that sounds good. And just circle a few of them. And the reason we circle a few is we need to actually make sure this name's available. So we don't want to get your heart caught up on one and then you go to see if it's available and it's not. So we come up with a few different options. And then once you've done that, we would then check the availability. So to check the availability in Australia, I'm not sure if we think we have a good name, but need a good slogan. Would this work similar? Yes, absolutely. So, we could go into this for so much detail, but I think it's good to have a keyword or something in the business that makes, or in the name that makes sense for the business. But you can use a slogan to make that a little bit clearer. And that's something else that we could keep building on this with. Absolutely agree. You need to create products no matter what. Service-based early businesses have a ceiling. Thanks, Leash. Leash is an accountant, so she sees a lot of this. Products allow you so much more freedom, growth, scalability, and profitability. My old business was service-based, one-on-one. This didn't allow the growth that was needed to really succeed. Absolutely. And that was what I was coming up against in my financial planning business too. All right. So then you need to check the name is available. So you need to check through Asset Connect if you're in Australia. I think everyone here is from Australia. If you're not, I would just go into whatever country that you are living in and just Google register my business name, see what comes up, and it's probably going to lead you to where you need to check this. You need to check that the social media handles are available for whatever social media you want to use, or a variation that you can use. And you want to check the domain name so you can have your business name as your website and they're all linked in together. So that's what you want to be doing there. I've actually got a podcast episode on the 3 things that you need to check before choosing your business name. So jump onto the Launch Your Biz Now podcast and have a listen to that to help with these next steps. A great idea, we've done this so fast today and you can just nut this out so much more. So a great thing to do is grab a few friends or grab some family, grab some drinks, sit down on a Friday or Saturday night and do this in a group and brainstorm these ideas together. So you're getting ideas from everyone and it's really, really powerful. And then it gets more people involved in the business too. So yeah. All right, moving on. In the great words of Parker McCullum, you've got 3 months left to make it the best year of your life. Lock in, step up, grind it out every day. Finish this year the right way. You'll be so glad you did. You showed up today because you want to start a business so you can make more impact, live life on your terms, create abundance, and have more freedom. But you're questioning whether you're ready to go all in on this, and you're not sure if anyone would buy from you. I've shown you that you can do it. Nothing I've shown you in today's training is theory. This is the exact formula I've used to set up businesses for myself and helped hundreds of other people with theirs. A proven framework that means you can set up a business without wasting time on the fluff and allows you to get results faster. I promise you my first business was not a well-oiled machine. It was a lot of wasted money and mistakes, but you get the benefits of my learning, so your business will be the success it deserves to be. Now, just take a minute and let's just imagine the future. Can you imagine if you could quit your day job because the sales just keep pouring into your bank account? Or you have a business that majority operates itself because of the systems and processes you built. And you're able to pick and choose the hours you work and are now doing it for you, not building an asset for someone else in their business. And you were being sought out as a key person of influence in your industry and being asked to take part in things you never dreamed of. Just take a moment and think of how that would look for you. How would your life be different? It's pretty powerful, yeah? So, would you like a step by step framework to get you out of idea stage and into action so you can have your own thriving business? You have three options from today. Option one, you do nothing and never launch your business. Option two, you do it yourself and waste hours piecing together advice from random people with good intentions but no real solution to you. Or option three, you follow a proven framework that shows you step by step exactly what you need to do to launch a thriving business without the overwhelm. Introducing Launch Your Biz Now, the 10-week course designed to get you out of idea stage and into a thriving business, which means you can give your 9 to 5 the boot and have the freedom to live your life on your terms, whilst also having the financial stability you crave and a fulfilling career. And it is launch day today, so I'm very excited. Leisha said, bring on being your own boss, freedom, and growing a business that thrives. Hell yes, absolutely. So the Launch Your Biz Now 10-week course is your simple step-by-step roadmap to launch a successful business that builds your authority and credibility in your industry and with your customer, creates an income-making machine that gives you flexibility and control in your life, and catapults your success through the startup stage 2.5 times faster without all the costly mistakes and moments of confusion. It gives you an understanding of how and why the mechanics of your business work to empower you to take meaningful action. So why this course? The Launch Your Biz Now course is the only course on the market that supports students through the what, why, and the how with a truly strategic approach, focusing on purpose. So that's the thing you've heard me say throughout all of this is, why are we doing it? What's the purpose of it? And all that overlaid by mindset for success. So plan, strategy, action. With a solid business plan, you'll know exactly what to do and when to do it. With a biz launch strategy, you'll wave goodbye to the guessing game and say hello to an approach that works. And the best part, the strategy and the planning phases work together to help you take action and create your business with confidence. Add a bunch of mindset support and personalized feedback from me and your fellow students, and you've got one magic business potion. So the 10 foundational pillars of a successful business. So you will know these pillars that we talked about before, and each of these make up a module. So we will cover off one of these pillars every week over the 10 weeks. So module number 1, week 1, test your business idea. In this, we're going to get really, really clear about who it is that you serve. Who's your customer? What problems do they have? What outcome do you deliver to them? What transformation do they go through when working with you? And then once we've got that, we'll go out there and we'll actually test your idea. We're going to make sure that people actually want it before you invest thousands and thousands of dollars and money and time into this business. Module 2, basics of a startup. This is where we're setting up all of those basic bits in, business name, knowing what to do to register it, talking about entities, all that sort of stuff. So you've actually got a business. Module 3, build your brand. We are going to create your brand board. So this is, we're either going to create your logo, and I'm going to show you how to do that, or we are going to create a, logo design brief to send to a graphic designer so they can create the logo that actually matches your brand. We're going to come up with your brand colors for this brand board. You're going to have all your fonts that you use for your brand. We're going to have the personality of your brand. So who is your brand? What do you stand for? What do you look like? How do you sound? What are people going to think when they see it? We're covering off all of that. Module 4, your marketing plan. So this is what we're talking about before, is how are people going to find your business? That's what we're covering off in that, and we're going to have a strategic plan to do that. Number 5, your sales strategy. Once they've found your business, how are we going to turn them into a customer and walk them through that product ecosystem and build out that product ecosystem and build out that sales funnel and get your business to a really good profitable level where you can scale it. Number 6, know your numbers. This is all things finance. And as I said, I think this underpins all of the areas. I'm going to give you so many assets you can use here. We're going to set up your bank accounts that you need to set up. We're going to talk about what the numbers are you need to look at. So when you're looking at your profit and loss, you actually know what you're looking at. You can measure it, and we can see what the key metrics are that we are wanting to measure. And we can look at how much you should invest into different things in the business and what percentages they should sit at. When you've got enough money to put on staff, everything to do with finance, there's a way that we can look at it to know whether we're ready to set up all these different areas of the business. Building your business. This is the processes and the systems that we're talking about that underpin the business. We're going to look at ways that we can automate them. We're going to use technology. We're going to look at outsourcing. We're going to look at, team members and when we're bringing them on and what they're doing and all that sort of stuff that goes into that to get your business running efficiently and primed for growth. Profile and partner. We're going to help you become a key person of influence in your industry, and your business is going to become known. You're going to have people wanting to partner with you so you can leverage those partnerships and have, so much more growth and build those buddies that you're doing business with. We're not going to be lonely doing it by ourselves. Module 9, planning for scale. I love this one because we don't want to stay in startup stage. Like I said, startup stage is a hustle. We want to get out of that and get to the lifestyle stage of business as fast as we can. So this is what this is. This is our plan to get there. What metrics we need to hit. What do we need to do in each stage to get the business to that point? How are we going to build you out of the business and get to the point that we all want our businesses to be at? And we've got a plan in place for that. And it's not just like one of those usual business plans where you put it, write it all down and then don't look at it again. This is actually stuff that you're looking at going, oh yeah, I see. This is cool. And then module number 10, the launch. We're going to actually launch this business and we're going to get these things live, and we're going to come up with the plan for 30, 60, 90 days to just get some serious momentum and get some runs on the board there.